I have my coffee with you. Yes, the naked lady. I actually made this cup myself. It's like very abstract. I hope I'm not gonna get demonetized for the nakedness here. But yeah, I made this cup myself in Creative Space. It's like a place where you can go and make all kinds of ceramic? It's like a place where you can go and make all kinds of creative stuff like cups and bowls and all that jazz. And so you choose your design and you know, paint them and they burn it and, you know, make it into this lovely creation. I chose this cup because it's huge and I drink a lot of coffee up until like 2 o'clock. I'm highly caffeinated and I have been so for the last 15 years. So today we're gonna do a little get ready with me. We're gonna do a fall look because I have a meeting later and I want all the fall vibes. I want a little smoky eye situation. Also, I got my new phone, so that's actually what I'm filming on and I'm already loving it so much more. I'm actually using the front camera right now, so I have like a monitor, but if the quality is off or like is not the best, I might switch over to use the back camera because I know that one is even better. But to me, it looks fine. You can see my skin. I have some redness going on. I just took a really hot shower, so that's why my hair is wet. I'm just gonna put it up real quick. Yeah, so today, as I said, we're gonna do a fall look. It's not gonna be a super elaborate look. As you know, that's not my makeup style. I don't like super graphic, yeah, I like a more grungy, smudgy, effortless model vibe. So like, I love Kate Moss's look because she always looks like she woke up from a party and just like effortlessly strolled out into the world with the smudgy, smoky eye looking model snatched. So that's what we're going for, and we're just gonna jump straight into it. I'm gonna start off with putting on some sunscreen, and today I'm using the Hydraphase Intense from La Roche Posay. It's a really good sunscreen. It's there's really not, I use 3 pumps because I know you're not gonna get the sunscreen that's, you know, advertised on the bottle if you don't pile it on. So we're gonna pile it on. Some people would even use more than this. There's like a 2-finger rule, so you should cover 2 fingers with sunscreen to get the advertised amount. But I think that's a bit much. It takes forever to like sink in, and yeah, I'm just not doing that. So I'm doing 3 pumps. To me, that's sufficient. And as I told you guys, I live in Copenhagen, so, you know, and it's super gloomy and gray and ugly outside right now. So I figure this should suffice. So we're gonna keep a very light, sorry, my baby hairs are always like out of control. We're gonna keep the base very light and natural, and we're gonna let the skin peek through. Like, that's what I like anyways, especially on good skin days. And my skin is honestly pretty good, decent most of the year. I get the occasional hormonal breakout, and sometimes, depending on how much makeup I've been wearing, I'll get like clogged pores on my nose or blackheads or, you know, all of that good stuff. But for now, my skin has been behaving really well. So I'm not gonna cake it up and really cover it a lot in makeup because, you know, I feel like that takes away from your beauty. So I'm just gonna let the sunscreen sit on my face and kind of like absorb for like a minute. And then I'm gonna go into my beloved Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I'm in the shade Punjab M1. If you're a shade sister, comment down below. I've been using Nars products for many years, maybe like 12, 13, 14 years. I've been using Nars for many, many years. And I have used Nars, mainly Nars foundations and Giorgio Armani and Bobbi Brown foundations and MAC Face and Body, of course, in my kit. But I really enjoy Nars foundations. I almost always have a good time with Nars foundation. They have undertones, but they're mostly yellow based in my opinion, yellow and neutral, which works on most skins. I mean, I would honestly never opt for a red based foundation or like a pinky based foundation, even if your skin is red, like, you know, very, very fair people have a tendency to have like a pink undertone. But even if, let's say I had a pink undertone, I would still opt for a neutral or even a slight yellow to counteract the pink in my skin. But that's just me. So the sunscreen has absorbed. Oh my God, my baby hairs. Okay. The sunscreen has absorbed for a little bit, and I'm gonna go straight into my foundation. Now this foundation, the pumps of this foundation are super small. I'll show you. So one pump looks like so. I always go for 2 pumps of this because it's very, like, the pumps are so small. So about that much. And I'll go into my damp beauty blender. I just washed it, but it still looks very dingy because I use it all the time. So I'm just gonna distribute some of this all over. I use the least amount of foundation on my forehead because I don't have problematic skin. Really, I don't break out in my forehead. If I do, I know it's an allergic reaction because I never ever have pimples on my forehead. But also because I'm older, or I'm 30, I have lines. I have forehead lines, right? So the less foundation you use in the areas of your skin that creases because of lines and such, you know, the less product you have on those areas, the less creasing you'll experience. If you've ever noticed that your skin looks older or like worse after you've applied your makeup, because sometimes that can happen, it's most likely because of the formula you're using is not the right formula for your skin type, and also because you put on too much. So we're doing very, very light coverage, and on my forehead I swipe the foundation instead of bouncing it in because I want a very, very smooth application, and I want a very, very sheer, thin application, so when you drag it, it's kind of like shears and pulls the product further. Whereas when you pounce your sponge, it builds on itself, you know? As you might know, I've worked for a lot of makeup brands. I've worked for Bobbi Brown. I've worked with MAC. I've worked for Armani. So I know a bit about formula and like the technology behind makeup. And I can tell you, I mentioned in my latest video with Nora Massissimo, the amazing dancer. If you haven't watched that, get ready with me. I really think you should because it was such a good time. I know the video was long, but that video was kind of intended to be like something you put on in the background while you're getting ready yourself. You don't have to like sit there and watch every single, you know, movement and second and word or whatever. It's more of like a hang out with us type of vibe. And she gave some really, really great tips to how you can get a long wearing look with using no powder, which to me was like such an oxymoron because I know that powder equals longevity. So honestly, I feel like I learned a few tips from her, which I love. I love getting ready with my girlfriends and like seeing how other people do their makeup. I find it very fascinating, and it reminds me of being a kid and watching my mom do her makeup, because isn't that how we all start our beauty careers or like journeys, is watching our sisters and our moms do it. So I love watching my girlfriends do it too. makeup is so personal and everyone has their own way of doing it. So I want to do more features on this channel, really showcasing the variety of how to do makeup, because makeup is not, there's no rules, you know. And I feel like lately it's been very like, since the day of YouTube and makeup gurus or beauty gurus and like Instagram and Reels and TikTok and all of this stuff, I feel like we've gotten to a place where there are right and wrong ways of doing makeup, which I think is wrong, which I don't think there is, because what is a right way for me and what works for me might be a totally wrong way for someone else with a different skin type, age, needs, and whatnot. So I want to kind of showcase real women in different professions with different needs and show you guys how they do it and what works for them, because then I think every single one of you eventually will find the perfect way for you to get your desired look and results. So I'm just bouncing around. It's been done for a minute. I just love talking, and I honestly feel like I have a mirror down here, so if I keep looking, that is why. I feel like it looks really even and natural. Now you can see I still have redness peeking through, but I don't mind. That's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna go shoot a music video or do a casting or, you know, do a photo shoot. So I don't need to look like Barbie. I don't need to look perfect. I just want to look pretty, you know? So now I'm gonna go into my beloved concealer. I love the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I'm in the shade Cream Puff. And listen, I did YouTube quite a bit 5 years ago. And the makeup style back then was very different than the current makeup style, which is very much focused on less is more, less concealer, less everything, which I really do enjoy. But I look back at my old videos and I'm just like amazed at the amount of concealer I used to do. I used to do the full on triangle and fill it in, and I'm just looking at myself like, I can't believe I was working as a professional makeup artist using those techniques. And honestly, they are good. They're good techniques. They are like real, you know, it's not like it's wrong, but it's unnecessary, the amount of makeup we used to use back in the day. And I'm doing my bulldog lines because that's gonna kind of make them protrude out and look less indented, you know? I'm just gonna bounce my beauty blender on top of that. I like highlighting my chin, not so much because I have redness or any, you know, imperfections to cover. That's not really the reason. The reason is I have an oval face, but like more of a round oval, I would say. So I feel like by highlighting your chin, it kind of draws the eye up and makes your face look a little bit longer. And that's kind of what I want. I'm gonna do a nose. I get redness around my nostrils. Most women do. It's a hormonal thing. And we have like broken, what's it called? Broken capillaries? Broken, you know what I mean? Like those broken veins. I just do that. And the remaining I'll just take around my nose, because as I told you, I just took a really, really hot, steamy shower. And I washed my face with my Blemish Control Salicylic Acid Cleanser from CeraVe. So when I really go in and I'm doing a very, very hot and steamy shower and I'm washing my face, and I let my face wash sit on my face for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then when I get out and I do my serums and everything, my skin is a little bit red. It goes down, it like disappears during the day, but it's always a little bit red when it's fresh out the shower. And also I have sensitive skin, you know, so I get red very easily. but I don't really mind the redness peeking through on my cheeks because that's just gonna make me use less blush later. So if you have red cheeks, work around it and have like a inbuilt natural blush moment, honestly. My best friend, he has always had like very red cheeks, and he is half African American and half Danish. And I've always thought it was so beautiful because he literally just has like a natural blush, and it's so cute. So work with your natural features, guys. Like, don't try to change too much because your hair type, your brow shape, all of it is in the best possible alignment to your face. It's like, it's almost always gonna be the colors and the brow shape and everything that suits you the best at the end of the day. So instead of working against something and like being so obsessed with the way someone else looks, if they look very different to you, try not to strive towards having a beauty standard or a beauty idol of any kind that looks totally different to you, because it's gonna make you work against your natural features, and it's not gonna serve you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So we all get inspired, you know, and we all have different people that we find beautiful for different reasons, but try to really fall in love with yourself and your own features and work with them and not against them, you know? Like in the last video with Nora, we were talking about the fact that I love straight eyebrows, like the Korean model brow. I love it. I think it looks so cute and so youthful and just so innocent and like ethereal. Like, it's just so, you know, it's cute. It's kawaii. But I don't have straight eyebrows. So even though I straighten my brows slightly, I work with my own shape because that's what looks the best. And Nora was mentioning how some people, you know, they shave off the tip of their eyebrows so that they can draw on a straighter edge. And I know people do that. And I used to have a girlfriend who did that, but it's just too much. Like, it's too much of a commitment. Why am I going to be shaving off my brow and like creating a new a new thing that I have to keep up with, because it's not how I'm made, you know? Anyways, I digress. I can't see 100% what I'm doing because I'm using my camera and I have a little mirror down here, but you know, we move. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my beloved Bobbi Brown foundation stick. As I mentioned a few videos back, this is what I usually use to contour. Now I also have the e.l.f. Halo Glow contour wand, which is nice. It really is nice. I prefer the Bobbi Brown one, but this costs like 10 times the amount of e.l.f. But you get a lot of product because it is a foundation. Now I totally used mine all up. This is what I have left, and this is like, you see, it's sorry, it's disgusting, but it's like done. It's super done. This is just my own personal one. I don't use this in my kit, and it's in the shade Warm Walnut 7.5. Sometimes I've used the shade 8. Sometimes I've even used the shade 8.5. It really just depends. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my little brush here. This is an e.l.f. dual face brush. It's really, really nice, and it's cheap, and it does the job, and it's synthetic. So when you work with creams, you really want to try to work, use synthetic fibers, use synthetic brushes, because that's going to move the cream product the best. It's not going to clump into the hairs, because natural hairs, the cream product will kind of cling to them and clump them together, you know, so something synthetic is going to be better. So I'm just going to do a few dots here on my cheekbones with the Bobbi Brown foundation stick. And what I like about this compared to the e.l.f. is that this guy does not dry down as fast, so you have a little bit more playtime. And I'm gonna do the sides of my forehead, and I'm gonna do like the corner of my eye. I'm just gonna lift it up a little bit and kind of give me like a little teeny tiny crease moment. This is really gonna draw the eye up because I have hooded eyes. My eyes are hooded. I don't have like a gorgeous amount of eyelid space, and my eyelid space are, my eyelids aren't defined. You know how some people have very deep set and defined eyes? I love working, like I love doing makeup on people with very like defined eyelids, but that is not me. So I'm just defining it a little bit, and I'm just gonna go directly into the big portion of the brush and blend it out. Again, we don't want a super harsh contour. This is honestly just, it's mostly like a little bronze moment, but it's also just gonna add a little bit of shape and dimension to an otherwise pretty flat base, you know? So just blending that out, blending out the eye, sweeping it up and out, you know, so I'm kind of pulling my eye out. I'm just gonna build a little bit right back here where my cheekbone really, I can feel my cheekbone, you know? Don't go, if I were to do this and follow this curve, my contour would be all the way down here. I don't want that. I wanna lift the face. So, and I'm blending upwards. So stamping and blending it upwards, okay? If you're unsure, place your fingers on your actual cheekbone, like where it protrudes out. And if you really don't know, take your brush and roll it down your face, and you're gonna feel an indentation. Now, don't draw into the indentation, draw it on the actual bone. So my bone is right here, okay? So I'm gonna buff it on the actual cheekbone, because when we blend it, it's naturally gonna kind of fit right in the hollow, you know? So I'm just gonna da-da-da-da-da, and up here. Okay, and blend it out. I'm super happy because of you guys. Like I started my YouTube back up like what, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. And I've managed to double my subscriber count, actually more than double my subscriber count. I started with 23 and now I have like what, 54. So I'm so grateful that you guys are watching and that we are growing, because that really makes me want to continue. You know, obviously if nobody's watching, I might as well just not do it and spend my time doing other things. But I've been doing makeup for so many years. I've been doing makeup for 15 years, as I told you, and I've learned so many tips along the way from other great makeup artists, from my own, you know, learning by doing, and from models. Honestly, some models have really great tips as well. And just from real life people that I really feel like I can share my knowledge with you, or that's the goal anyways. And if you are enjoying this content, or if you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe. My name is Tosh, or my name is Natasha, but everyone calls me Tosh. And I love making content. I'm a long form content girly, but I'm really gonna try to get, I keep saying this and it never happens, but I'm going to practice short form content. If you yourself watching this, if you're a short form content whiz, please give me tips. I would love some guidance in that area. I've just always loved, like, I love the OG YouTube, like the how YouTube used to be. It didn't used to be about like high production videos and glitz and glamour and all of this, like, and like it's a lot, you know. And I feel like I enjoyed real people in their bedrooms talking about beauty and sharing their experiences on life and spirituality and whatever. And like, yeah, I like a chill vibe. What I'll also do sometimes is take the remaining and just like carve out my chin a little bit like this, and I'll go even on my jawline a little bit and blend that out, because that is also going to slim the face. And notice how little product I use. I use very, very, very light amounts. And honestly, that's gonna be it. Oh yeah, Nora really inspired me to start contouring my nose again. I don't have a big nose, you know, so I don't always feel the need to contour it, but some days I will, and today is one of those days. I'm just gonna go in, do the normal. By doing this under the nose, you're kind of lifting it up. And then I'm gonna do the little button nose, just a little bit there. This is a very warm shade. And depending on your skin tone, this shade in particular might not be the best contour shade for you. I call it like a bronzer shade because I feel like in real life, using a very gray tone to contour does not look good. It just doesn't. So if you can get away with it, use something like this that's gonna blend in and give you more of a bronzer look. I'm blending it in and then I'm swiping it on the bridge back and forth because that's kind of where you get the most sun. You get the most sun up here and right on your bridge. So that's fine. Okay, perfect. I feel like my under eyes are looking very dark today, so I'm gonna actually add just a teeny tiny bit more right here where I see some darkness. And then I'm gonna go into my powder puff and blend out that specific area, because using a powder puff for your concealer gives you, one, a little bit more control, but it also gives you a little bit more coverage. And just dabbing it out. You see, I feel like that really helped. Okay, over here. Also, I've seen like a trend on YouTube how to get like expensive looking skin. And I feel like the best way to achieve an expensive looking face is to, one, have some really good blurring products, like very hydrated first of all, and then if you use powder products, make sure they're very fine. Like the Hourglass powders are super duper finely milled and they give you like kind of a filter on your face. They're very like they give you a soft focus effect, right? So soft focus type products, as well as a good quality highlighter that, and when I say good quality, I don't necessarily mean expensive. A good quality highlighter is a highlight that genuinely makes you look like you're glowing from within, and that is not a glittery, chunky highlight, but that is a wet looking, like natural, glowy, effortless type highlighter. And for that, I really enjoy the Armani Fluid Shears. They are so super duper 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 nice. I've sold thousands of them through my time at the company. And what is so special about Armani Beauty, and not very many people know this, but the reason that their foundation has won so many awards for so many years in a row as the best bridal foundation of all time, yada yada yada, one of the reasons that it photographs so incredibly well and looks so beautiful and natural on the skin and in real life is because Armani uses flat particles in their formula. So normally particles in cosmetics have like a round shape. Like if you were to take a microscope and zoom into these molecules that different products are made of, normally they are round, right? So if you have, like, this is a particle, right? And you have a layer of foundation, round, 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 round. Then you put some contour, then you put some blush. All of these particles mesh together, and that's when it can start to look cakey. So what Armani Beauty does, and what's super innovative about them, is that they use flat particles. So even when you layer a foundation on top of a concealer, on top of a blush, on top of a powder, it's way more, it lays tighter on your skin in a way, in a sense. And it's just more I don't know how to say it, explain it, but it's just more like natural. It lays differently on the skin. That's what I'm trying to say. Their foundation, the technology they use is different, and it's really beautiful. So this is Armani Fluid Sheer in the shade 2. It's a gorgeous highlight shade. I'm just gonna take a bit of this, or a lot of it maybe, and I'm going to highlight. I feel like highlighting your skin is definitely one of the go-to ways to get expensive looking skin. So I'm just gonna highlight a little bit under the brow bone, above the brow, so you kind of look like a little sweaty, but in a good way. And then the Cupid's bow a little bit, and then a little bit on the tip of the nose, and a little bit on the top of the bridge, okay? And then you just want to go in and blend all of that out. I'm going to use the same buffing brush from e.l.f. that I've been using. Am I? No, actually I'm going to use my beauty blender, and I'm just going to take some of the remaining and I'm going to bounce this around. I like using a beauty blender for cream highlights because of the water content in the sponge. I feel like it shears it out beautifully and prevents that stripy look, you know. Up here I swipe a little bit because this highlight dries a little bit fast, and I honestly didn't even think about that, but it does dry a little fast. Not super fast, but a little. And over here you can kind of see it dried a little bit. So what I will do to get a better blend is I'll take my Avene thermal spring water and I'll just dampen my face and I'll blend it out. Okay, so the skin is done. What I will do now is I will go into my Hourglass Ambient lighting powder, and I'm just gonna set the areas that need powder. And for me, I mix all of the 3 shades, but for my under eyes, I focus on the 2 lighter shades. And I set my under eyes because I have eye wrinkles and I crease very easily. So just a minimum, very, very thin amount of powder will make my concealer last all day with minimum creasing. People who tell you, that, oh, do this and your concealer won't crease, are liars. Your concealer, if you have eye wrinkles, your concealer will crease, girl. Like, it's just going to happen. It is inevitable, but you can make it crease the absolute bare amount, and to me, that is a win. So obviously, the less concealer you use, the less creasing you'll have. The more you avoid the areas that have the skin folds and the wrinkles, the less product will sink into them. So I'm just gonna pat some powder under my eyes and around my nostrils. Now I'm gonna take my Sephora Pro Airbrush 55 brush, swirl it in all of the shades, and just lightly set the rest of my face. Very, very lightly. Like hardly any powder. It's almost just symbolic. Okay, powder done. Now, if you're a big bronzy girly and you really want your makeup to last, I really recommend the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. One, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful formula. It looks like this. Sorry, my ring light is like blinding you. I've had this one for a good amount of time, a few years I would say, and I've hit pan on it. But what is so cool about this bronzer is that it's waterproof. So you can use it in high intensity sweaty situations like I mentioned with dancing, right? So I take some of this. The formula is super hard. Like it doesn't feel like powder. It feels like plastic almost. But I use a little bit of this and I'll just go in like a 3 shape. So a little bit on the forehead, a little bit in the eyelid, cheekbone, jawline. This is gonna really set our little cream bronzer contour situation. Sandwiching your products, powder on top of creams, will always prolong longevity. For brows, let's do brows because they're looking kind of horrible. I'm gonna go into my NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. And I'm just gonna brush my hairs up a little bit to see what I'm working with here, as if I don't know. Okay. And guys, you don't have to, like, you know what I mean? You don't have to do your brows. If you have amazing full eyebrows, like Middle Eastern girls are the prettiest. They have super full, beautiful eyebrows. And if that's you, don't feel like you have to do it just because people do it on tutorials. I'm just gonna fill in where I feel like I need a little bit of help in the fullness department, and that is always my tail. So I will fill in my arch and my tail, like creating small baby hairs. And then sometimes what I will do is I will go in and I will like kind of back and forth try to color the skin behind the eyebrows a little bit, and then I'll brush them through. And as I've said numerous times now, I've really been enjoying the undone brow look. I feel like it looks very, very effortless and pretty. So honestly, that is all I'm gonna do for brows. I'm not even gonna set them or anything because I'm not really going anywhere special. I'm going into town for a few hours and that's it. And then I'm gonna cook dinner and whatnot. So now this is my favorite eyebrow. I love her. She's a good time. She works with me. She doesn't give me a headache. This girl is such a bitch. I hate her so much. She's just a totally different shape, first of all. And she has like a big bald spot over here. So my approach over here is always gonna be a little bit different. And for now, I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth, trying to color in the hair behind my brows slightly and brushing them through. I seriously despise people, not people, but I despise black eyebrows. Like, I don't care if your hair is black. You can use a dark gray or like, but super intensely black, like where you use an eyeliner, almost something super, super opaque, and you can see like the Sharpie type line on your eyebrows. I feel like it makes you look super trashy, and it ages a face like nothing else, and it's just not very pretty. I'm gonna have so many hate comments for this, but that's my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. I'm just gonna define the bottom over here a little bit and make my arch situation a little softer, because for whatever reason it's harsher over here. And I'm gonna fill in the tail. And also, because I got my brows laminated a few weeks back, they kind of stick up on their own, like when I place them. And obviously when you take a really hot shower, they're kind of just like, you know. But yeah, I feel like that looks decent. I'll just define the front slightly, ever so slightly. I don't like a very defined front. I like when a brow kind of very effortlessly and naturally fades into a stronger color. So the most amount of pigment should be from your arch out. Obviously, if you have super blonde eyebrows, you're gonna have to define them all the way through. Like, again, nothing that I say is like set in stone. Obviously, it's gonna depend and vary from person to person. But if I had super blonde eyebrows, I think I would just use, like, get them shaped real nice, and then I would just go in with a colored brow gel. Yeah. That's it for brows. I'm gonna stop right there because brows can take me like forever, and sometimes when you continue, like just like with eyeliner, when you don't stop, when it's good enough, you can end up like messing the whole thing up. Now I'm gonna go into blush, and I'm gonna use my Beat Up Dior Rosy Glow blush. It's gone super viral recently, and I don't know why. It's been a cult classic for years and years, but you know, the pink bubblegum blush is having its moment, and I'm here for it. When I used to work for Bobbi Brown, we had this blush called Pale Pink, and it was Bobbi Brown's favorite blush. And we sold so many of those. And it's basically the exact same shade. And that one is also really great. So if you feel like the Dior is too expensive, the Bobbi Brown is a bit more affordable. But honestly, you can get this shade in so many different brands. You don't have to buy the Dior Rosy Glow. Now, what's kind of cool about this one is that it's supposedly pH balanced. So it'll look slightly different on everyone. And that is mainly why I have been using it in my kit for so many years. But I feel like it's not that different, you know? It's not that big of a deal. You can get this shade in so many cheaper brands, and they're just as good and just as beautiful. For highlight, I'm going into the Dior Backstage highlighting palette, and I'm taking the pink shade to go with my pink blush, and I'm just hitting the tops of the cheekbones, above the brow, a little bit under the brow, in a little C motion. Nothing major. I'm not packing it on. I'm literally working in the thinnest layers possible. The remaining I'll take on my Cupid's bow and on the tip of my nose. Now let's get into some eyeshadow, okay? Now, because we're doing a fall look, I feel like I have to go like a chocolatey brown, okay? That's my preferred. Wow, I look like I drank milk. Let's do something about these lips. I'll probably take this off at some point, but I'm gonna put on some of the new Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Sweetheart. It looks really intensely red, but as any lifter gloss, it's not that opaque in color. It does have color, it's just like a sheer color. And let's just kind of use this as a little lip balm while we do the eyes, because my lips were looking hella crusty. Okay, that looks fine. I love this shade. It's like a corally red, but it looks very healthy, you know? I would usually use some sort of a base like the Bobbi Brown long wearing cream eyeshadows. I love the shade Bronze and I love the shade Beach. But Bronze is in my bathroom and I don't want to get up. So we're going to go in with another favorite, and it's Max Teddy Eye Kohl. This is a beautiful, beautiful eyeliner. If you have blue and green eyes, this would be so stunning on you because it's a really warm bronze. It's a kohl pencil, meaning it's very malleable. It's very easy to smoke out. It's ideal for that effortless look, and it's really beautiful in your waterline as well. It doesn't last for ages in your waterline, but it is beautiful. What I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to very, very messily define my under eyes. So I'm going to go right under my lash line, halfway under the eye. Then what I'll do is I'll blink and wing it out. So just follow the shape of your under eye. If this angle were to continue in a straight line, where would it continue to? That's always how I teach people eyeliner. Go in that direction. Okay, so for me, that's kind of how it would go. Now what I'll do is I will very, very messily, we're gonna smudge it out so it doesn't have to be perfect. Go on top of your lash line all the way and connect your little wing situation. I have hooded eyes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of take it into my crease like that and make like a little shape like that, okay? So when my eyes are open, it's giving me a better wing effect than if I just did a normal wing. Now what I'll do is I'll take any synthetic brush. Today I'm gonna use the base shadow brush from Real Techniques. It looks like this. And and this is also because we're going straight onto the eye with an eyeliner, and we're using that as our cream shadow. We're using that as our base. It's gonna make anything you put on top last even longer, okay? And it's gonna give you that smudgy, bronzy, delicious look. So I'm just gonna go in and lightly buff it in. Small circular motions. I'm patting it at the same time, depending on how I want the product to be deposited. The more you rub, the more diffused it's gonna get. The more you pat, the stronger of a placement and you're gonna get. So you'll customize it to what you're going for. But for me, I want it to be the softest in the center. So where my eyelid is, because I'm gonna go in with some eyeshadow. I'm also gonna really buff it out under my eye, under my lash line. Buffing it out. And then I'm gonna buff it into my crease. Really working it in. And you can do this look with pretty much any eyeliner. Obviously, if it's a Kohl liner, it's gonna move and glide easier. But even with a long wearing gel liner or something like that, not a liquid liner, that's not gonna work, but a long wearing gel pencil or whatever, that'll work too. You just have to work quicker. So I like a Kohl liner because I like to take my time. So honestly, that's about it. I feel like the blend is nice. It's giving me that soft and smoky effect. So what I'll do now is I will take some of my, I'll take any transition shade that you like and enjoy. Take that. Today I'm going to be using MAC's Soft Brown. It's one of my absolute favorite transition shades of all time. It's a very warm, medium brown. And I'm gonna packing it on the crease and then blending it because I want a decent color payoff. I want it to be very blown out and smoky. And this shade on its own is just so beautiful. Sometimes I use it as like a very light, smoky eye all over my lid because I love the color so much. And it really, I feel like it brings out the green in my eyes. I have brown eyes, but if you get really close, there are some like green hues. So I like to accentuate that with like plums, like purpley shades or green shades or orangey shades, right? So blending it, buffing it under the lash line. This is also going to help your creasing situation look less noticeable anyways. Buffing it around, dragging it up a little bit. Now I'm going to go into this guy. This is a little eyeshadow palette from Sephora. It's called the Little Wishes. Mine is pretty beat up. I don't know if they still make this, but you know, it's 3 super basic eyeshadow shades that I'm sure all of you have in your collection. There's a dark brown, a bronzy shade, and a matte cream color. I'm going to go into the darkest brown, the dark brown, and I use this as liner all of the time. I love it. They're super nice, super pigmented. I'm gonna go into the dark brown shade and I'm gonna place it on my outer corner. So that if your eye has 2/3, if you put it like in 3 sections, the outer third section, and place it kind of diagonally. Okay, so I just placed the color like that. Now I'm just gonna buff it in. Again, I want a very effortless, Kate Mossy, grungy, texturized, lived-in type of look. I don't want it to look super sharp. I don't want it to look like I spent hours on my makeup, even though I low-key did. I want it to look super easy, effortless, and cool girl vibes. Don't worry, you can always clean it up, but be a little bit messy about it, you know? I feel like that looks decent. It's giving the effect that I want. Now I could leave it matte, or it's not really all the way matte because we use Teddy, the Eye Kohl, which is kind of like a little bit shimmery. But, oh, do I want to do it matte? No, I don't. I'm going to go into this bronzy shade in the same Sephora palette, and I'm just going to place the shimmery right in the center of the eye and pat it out. Okay. I'm going back into my little blender brush and kind of almost doing a halo eye, but more unintentional. So I'm blending it out. I'm blending out the edges, but I'm letting the center of the pigment be very strong or stronger. I don't really want anything to be super strong, but you see how that kind of just like gives you a pop of something. And when you look down and you have conversation, it's gonna like do its little thing, you know? I'll even take like a little smudgy brush. This is also from Real Techniques, but you can take a flat shader brush or any like whatever little, you can even take a Q-tip. And I'm gonna place the exact same shade right in the center of my eye underneath my pupil. We're gonna go into a little bit of liquid liner. I know, don't get discouraged. You can do it. If you don't feel comfortable using a liquid, go ahead and use a gel pencil or even use an eyeshadow. That's also fine. I might even take the darkest brown eyeshadow and smoke out my liquid pencil later, depending on my mood. But we're gonna do liquid, and we're gonna go into the Fenty Beauty Flyliner long wearing liquid eyeliner in the shade Truffle, Big Truffle 02. It's a beautiful, beautiful brown eyeliner. I super love it. And honestly, this eyeliner and the Kylie Jenner Kyliner are one of my favorite eyeliners of all time. I used to really enjoy the Kat Von D Trooper liner, but I don't anymore. I feel I don't really enjoy a felt tip. I like a brush tip, and I think actually this might be a felt tip, but this felt tip is just of better quality than the Kat Von D because that one has a tendency to like flake and dry and get weird. I'm just dotting it at the base of the lashes. Dot, 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 dot. When I get to the outer corner, I will flick it out from the corner of my eye in the same direction that we did with the Teddy eyeliner. I'm gonna flick it out like that, and I'm gonna connect it. I'm also gonna take it into the inner corner and give myself like a little cat eye situation without dragging it all the way here, because I have a tendency to get like eye sleepies, like what do you call it, like eye makeup, eye stuff, gunk. And so the less product I have in that very, very, very inner tear duct, the better. Okay, but it's giving what it needs to give. So now what I'll do is I'll go into my Real Techniques angled brush. This is the lash and line brush or whatever it's called. I'll take the darkest shade. This is really gonna lock in the eyeliner and make it not smudge. Also, it's gonna take away the slight shine that the liner has. I don't really enjoy that part of it. And I know it does fade a bit more once it's fully dried, but I'm just gonna go in and pat on top of the liner with this dark eyeshadow. I'm also smoking the edges slightly because again, I don't really want a super harsh start and stop vibe. Now I'm gonna take my MAC's Teddy eyeliner once more, and I'm gonna tight line. I'm gonna put it on the top and bottom lash line. So I'm gonna go into my beloved Dior Show Pump and Volume. It looks like this. It's in a little squeezy tube. I'm still loving this, unfortunately. It gives. It gives what it needs to give. And I wiggle my mascara and then I roll the brush. Wiggle it and roll. That's what I would call my mascara if I ever made one. Wiggle and roll. Bottom lashes. I don't always do bottom lashes, but when I'm doing a smoky eye, I always do. That's it, guys. I look so, like, this eye looks so much bigger. So that is basically the eyes done. I'm gonna do the other eye off camera really quick because honestly this takes me 2 minutes. But when you're explaining and everything and really showing it and making sure that you're in the camera shot and everything, it just takes more time. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the highlight. I'm gonna mix the white and the gold. And I'm gonna take that into the inner corner. Just right there, okay? I'm gonna do, and then I'll take a little bit of the white and I'll just pinch my brow, I'll just pinch my brush a little bit and just hit right under the arch. Make sure that that crease is still matte, okay? I'll do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. This look is done. If you just want to be simple and do a gloss, that's beautiful, but I'm not gonna be that simple today. I'm going to take this off. Like this part, the lips is super easy, but what I'm gonna do, because I want to be a little bit more fallsy, is I'm going to take a lip liner, one of my all-time favorites. It's the, I have like, look how little mine is. This is Urban Decay's Naked Lip Liner in the shade Naked 2. So it's not the original one, it's their second version. I love it. It's super long wearing. It's such a nice nude shade. And I'm gonna line and fill in the lip, okay? Okay. Beautiful shade, right? I know. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of my favorite glosses of all time. It is called the Sisley Phyto-Lip Star in the shade, what? In the shade Diamond 1, number 1 Diamond. I don't know if they still make this. I hope so, because it's one of my favorite, and I know it went like super viral. Jaclyn Hill made this go super viral, like I want to say 7-8 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. Not the same one, but you know, it's just the most iconic shimmery J-Lo lip gloss in the universe. And I'm basically just doing the center, hitting the Cupid's bow area slightly to make that really pop. This is a beautiful gloss to use on brides, one of my go-tos. I also like to pair it with Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk liner. That's also super nice. But yeah, guys, that is the finished look. What do we think? Do we think this is like fall appropriate? Very, very beautiful skin, natural, glowy, healthy, sultry eyes. It's I swear it's an easy look, and you can define the crease more, make it deeper, make it more rosy, more orangey, whatever you're into. You can totally customize this look and just steal my techniques, you know? So if you enjoyed this look, comment down below. It really helps me so much. Give me a like, do all of the things. And if you're wondering what this is my new little obsession. It's from a company called Breathless. I'll put their name right here. They make like jewelry for people who want to quit smoking. And I've been using this, and it's kind of just like it's a little breathing tool. Now I have gloss all over it. It's a little breathing tool thingy that you can use when you really, really are craving a smoke, you know? And honestly, it's been helping me quite a bit. It's because when you are a smoker, you often have like a mouth fixation. So chewing gum, eating carrots, you know, like having something to mess around with, to fidget with, is a great help. And obviously having this to like breathe has been a great help, because when you breathe through something like this, it slows down your breathing, which slows down your heart rate, which makes you relax. And nicotine is what, you know, really makes you relax. And the inhalation process of a cigarette makes you breathe slow and all of that. So I found it like a little cool little life hack, and I think it looks honestly pretty cool as well. So it's like my little accessory. They're not paying me to say any of this. I paid for this with my own coin. I honestly even thought it was a little bit too steep price-wise. So Breathless, if you end up seeing this, fix your price, because it's too high. Anyways, thank you for watching. Ooh, let's do scent of the day, okay? And because we're doing the expensive skin look, let's go with an expensive bitch. My current love, Valaya, you can see I put quite a dent in this already. I haven't had her that long, but I love her. And she smells like luxury. She smells like money. She smells like sophistication. She's just wonderful. And you would think from this little see-through bottle with this light juice, you would think that she would be like very fresh and light and like thin and airy and not very long wearing. Wrong. She is beast mode. Beast mode. I'm telling you, like, even when I've sprayed this in the morning and I leave my house for a few hours, when I come back 3 hours later, I can smell her in my bed, in here, in the bedroom where I've sprayed her. I can still smell her when I come back several hours later. So this, she's beast mode. I always hit the pulse points behind the ears, a few here, down the arms, yes, even the back of the head. Oh my God, she's so good. I love Perfumes de Marly. It's probably my favorite perfume house. She comes in a box like this. I still store her in her box because it makes me feel special. I also have the Delina Exclusive, Delina Exclusive. She's also beautiful, but she's a totally different lady, this one. So if you're into perfumes and you want to know more about the House of Perfumes de Marly, or just my recommendations in general, because I am a perfume girl, like through and through. Santa Di Maria, I think that's her name. Like, I follow a lot of perfume channels, and like this girl, there's obviously Sheree. Sheree, she gets me like, oh man, she made me purchase both of these actually. But also Santa Maria, I think that's her channel name. I'll put it right here. I really respect and I trust her nose, okay? She has great taste. We have similar tastes. So obviously perfumes are subjective, right? But when you find someone who you're like, I can get behind this, we have similar tastes, then you can really get some good insider knowledge on what's good and what's new and what works and what's long lasting, because I'm all about the long lasting life. I want to put my perfume on in the morning, and when I take a shower at night, I want to smell it in the shower steam. Like, I need beast mode all the way. So with that being said, I'm going to do a perfume video very soon of my whole perfume collection and some top recommendations, and I'll share my perfume wish list with you, because I have like a huge wish list on my phone. Obviously, I already have many perfumes, and I don't want to be one of those perfume girls that has like 700 perfumes or something ridiculous, because perfumes expire, and I don't have enough body or enough, like, I'm not going to use 40 perfumes a year. I'm just not. I go through perfumes a lot. I do. I spray, I overspray, I get into it. But to me, having 20 in my rotation is more than enough. You can have 3 in your rotation and be fine. You can have 1 in your rotation and be fine. But if you're like me, you have a scent for every occasion and every mood. I used to be a signature scent girly for like 10 years. But recently, I've grown my collection quite a bit because of these ladies right here. And I am a signature scent girly, but I'm also like a season, mood, and style type of girly. Okay, so my scent needs to match my style profile. Share this video with your girlfriend or mom or sister or whoever is in need of a new fall makeup tutorial and who loves like glam. I could have gone in with false eyelashes and that would have been super glam, but honestly, I'm having like a moment where I don't really love false eyelashes anymore. I feel like it's very made up and very over the top, and I don't know, I used to love them and wear them constantly, but recently I think like just mascara gives a more cool girl vibe. I'm gonna stop my rambling right here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll keep creating content for you guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Do all of the things. Ring the notification bell. See you. Bye-bye.